Instrumental Wonders event is this weekend in Pokemon GO. If you cannot go to the in-person event in New Jersey in America, this is the global event that's going to be taking its place for all trainers. Guys, we're going to run through the details. We've got 2 shiny boosts to talk about, and right at the end, we're going to discuss the heartbeat of this video, GMAX Cinderace, going through a strategy, counter guide, and the best way to help you guys take this thing down as easily as possible. This is the Instrumental Wonders with Go With Us. Let's get those dates out of the way. Guys, it's going to be taking place this Saturday, which is going to be the 7th of June, running for about 4 days until Wednesday, the 11th of June at 8 p.m. local time. Just bear in mind, though, that this GMAX Cinderace is only going to be available on the Saturday and Sunday. Speaking of GMAX Cinderace is going to be making its debut in Pokemon GO this weekend, and coming with this event is going to be 2 shiny boosts specifically to shiny Ferroseed as well as shiny Phalanx, which is incredible. So let's get straight to those bonuses very quickly. Additionally, for every raid that we complete in this time frame, we're going to get an additional 5,000 XP per raid, which is awesome. Just like it was for the last event, the max particle limit collection is going to be increased to 1,600. Every single time that we visit power spots and give it a spin, if you like, we're going to get 8 times the max particles. So normally you would get 120. This time you're going to get about 800 per collection, which is awesome. And as we just mentioned, you're going to get the shiny boost of Ferroseed as well as Phalanx in this event, which is pretty cool. But let's talk about the paid timed research ticket. That's going to be a total cost of $2, and it's going to get you more encounters with the Ferroseed, the Phalanx. It's going to get you 5 premium battle passes, which is very impressive. But more than that, an additional bonus is going to be attached to ticket holders, where effectively you're going to get 2 times raid Stardust. Now, let me just tell you off the bat, for $2, this might be the best ticket we've seen in a long time. It just clicked in my brain right now what's going on. Guys, think about the XP and the Stardust you get per GMAX battle. It is huge. If anyone is confused, I'm going to put that into perspective right now. Guys, if you have a lucky egg as well as a star piece running with the tickets, with everything going on the XP side of things, you're going to get per raid at least 50,000 XP with that lucky egg running. But during this event, if you have the ticket, which is only $2, guys, you're gonna get up to 75,000 Stardust per raid. That is absolutely broken. If you do the maths, you do 10 raids with both these things running. If we just look at the Stardust side of things, guys, that's 750,000 Stardust for 10 raids. That is unprecedented in Pokemon GO. Let's get into those spawns now, though. Spawning in the wild, we have Meowth, Hoppip, Ferroseed, Galarian Stunfisk, Golett, Tadbulb, and some rare spawns for Chimecho, Beldum, and Phalanx. We have raids going down. In 1-star raids, we have Meowth, Beldum, and Ferroseed. In 3-star raids, we have Galarian Stunfisk and Phalanx. And then, of course, in 5-star raids, don't forget that we have Groudon making its anticipated return. It's not the primal Groudon, it's the regular Groudon, from the 5th all the way until the 14th. Moving into field research now, we've got 4 Pokemon coming from field research. We're going to give them and their 100% IVs. We have the Kanto Meowth in there. That 100% IV is going to be 320. We then have Phalanx. That 100% IV is going to be 1010, a pretty easy one to remember. Next up, we have Chimecho. That 100% IV is going to be 968. And then we have Ferroseed in there, and that 100% IV is going to be 403. And a quick tip I'm going to throw in here, just like we did for the Serene Retreat event with Morlul, guys, remember the same thing is happening here. We now have Kanto Meowth in there. Remember, Kanto Meowth is a permanently boosted Stardust Pokemon, granting you 500 Stardust per catch. I want you guys to stack your Meowth and your stack tasks. Remember, guys, you can stack up to 100 of these. You want to be catching these things on a 3 times catch or 4 times catch Stardust day, like a community day, for example, and you're just going to see how much Stardust comes into your bag. Trust me, very underrated tip. Tip number 2, before we move on to those top targets we're going to touch on, has to be to get that event ticket. I think for $2, one of the best tickets we've seen in a long time. And again, it's about the Stardust gains you're going to get after every single raid. Trust me, this is not a ticket you don't want to buy. In my opinion, buy it. Now it's time for our top targets, and generally whenever we cover these, we look at raid attackers as well as PvP. Right now, there are some brilliant PvP Pokemon, so let's start there. The first one we're going to look at is definitely going to be Hoppip going into Jumpfluff. Guys, Jumpfluff right now in the Great League, its shadow form is ranked number 2, which is absolutely incredible, and its regular form is currently sitting at 47. Remember, the season's about to turn over as well, so these are subject to change, but trust me, Hoppip is a very good one to go after. We would then look at Galarian Stunfisk. We don't often see Stunfisk in the wild, so it's a good opportunity to get candy for Stunfisk. But guys, in the Great League right now, the Galarian Stunfisk has a current ranking of 148. But again, a little meta shift can take that right back to the top again like it once was. In the Ultra League, Galarian Stunfisk is sitting at 114, which is solid. But again, that has definitely been in the top 5 before. We would then look at Tadbulb. Tadbulb going into Bellibolt. Not so good in the Great League, but in the Ultra League right now, it has a current ranking of 63. And moving on to the raid attacking targets, there's only going to be 2. The first one, of course, is coming into raids, which is going to be Groudon. Guys, Groudon is one of the best ground type attackers in the game. Again, its primal form is definitely the first and will be for the foreseeable future the best ground type attacker in the game. But if you're a new player and you need to get something in your Pokédex for Groudon, or if you just need a good Master League Pokemon as well, Groudon is going to suit you very, very well. Great one to go after. And the second one, of course, is going to be Beldum, which you can find in the wild as a rare spawn, as well as in the 3-star raids. Beldum goes into Metagross. Guys, Metagross, just to cover PvP very quickly, it only shines in the Master League at a current ranking of 77, and its Shadow Form is ranked at 108. But guys, it's as a raid attacker that this thing shines tremendously well, particularly in the Psychic category, but more so in the Steel type category, because remember, Mega Metagross has not come to the game yet, and it will definitely be in the top 2 attackers, along with the Duskmane Necrozma. So guys, definitely go after your Beldum if you didn't have one from Comday. And last but not least, as you guys know, the heartbeat of this video is going to be the debut of GMAX Cinderace, which is going to be the Fire-type starter coming from Scorbunny, straight from the Galar region. Guys, it's important to mention right now that the best way to break down these Pokemon is to look at its base stats first. It has a current max CP of 3412, which is solid, but its attack value really shines. It's sitting at 238, which is so impressive, especially for a second stage evolution that's not a Mega. It has a defense of 163 and a stamina of 190. But if we go straight into its movesets right now, guys, it has fast attacks of Tackle and Fire Spin. Bear in mind that Tackle is going to be a 0.5 second move, along with Fire Spin, which is only a 1 second move that's also a fire type. Its charge moves that it has access to is going to be Flamethrower, Flame Charge, Focus Blast, which is probably the hardest hitting and something we need to look out for. And of course, that GMAX Fireball, which is its own move that it gets once it transitions into that GMAX phase. Which means that if we look at its total damage output, currently the best moveset you could use on this GMAX is going to be a Fire Spin and the GMAX Fireball combination with a DPS of 24 and a TDO of 372, which, if you didn't know, and maybe the main question you were wondering is this better than a GMAX Charizard as an attacker? It is better. It's actually about 6 or 7% better than GMAX Charizard as an attacker, but because its defense is weaker, the better tank is going to be Charizard, but the better attacker is going to be GMAX Cinderace. So now that we know that GMAX Cinderace is something worth going after, because as we've just seen, GMAX Cinderace is probably going to be the best fire-type attacker for the foreseeable future in the game. But more importantly, how do we take this thing down, and what is the easiest way to do that? Well, the best thing to do is to always look at its weaknesses. GMAX Cinderace is weak to 3 different things: ground, rock, and water, and it takes resisted damage from bug, fairy, fire, grass, and steel. The best thing you want to do in terms of a strategy generally is to kind of have 2 attackers, 1 defender, and 1 healer, if you want to say it like that. So what are the best attackers we could use? In other words, what Pokemon are going to be doing the most damage? Well, undoubtedly, and by some way, GMAX Kingler with the GMAX Foam Burst is undoubtedly the best Pokemon you could use. I would then look at something like DMAX Inteleon. GMAX Inteleon is actually included here, but it's not in the game yet and is only coming next week. DMAX Excadrill with Max Quake, DMAX Kingler with Max Geyser. And remember guys, for attackers, you want to have that max attack leveled up to level 3, because that is going to be the best way you're going to do as much damage as possible when you transition into that DMAX phase. But what are the best tanks? In other words, what are the Pokemon to actually start the battle, tank the damage, and once that DMAX meter charges up, what are the best Pokemon to switch into? These are the Pokemon that are going to be defending, in other words, staying alive as long as possible on the battlefield. Of course, and it comes up again, is going to be that DMAX Blissey with Pound, DMAX Chansey with Pound. You could use DMAX Lapras, GMAX Lapras. I would even throw in something like a GMAX Charizard, because it's going to take so much resisted damage from that Focus Blast as well as the fire type attacks. But bear in mind, guys, for your tanks, I want to make this very, very clear. Look out for that Focus Blast, especially for Blissey as well as Chansey, guys, because of their normal typings. Focus Blast is going to hit them tremendously hard, and from the little math calculations that we've seen, 1 Focus Blast is going to take about 40 to 50% of your HP just on one focus blast. So let's hope that's not the move it comes with. And remember, for your tanks and healers, you want to have your max guard as well as max spirit leveled up, because the main game of this is to be the last on the field as long as possible. But because Cinderace has a very good attack, you want to be taking this thing down as fast as possible, because why? It's going to be doing so much damage to you. So let's get rid of it as quick as possible. Guys, that is going to be the instrumental wonders. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for all the support. You guys are really showing us some great love with the comments as well as the likes. Smash that like, smash that subscribe button. It really helps us grow. Love you guys. Go with us, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. Shh.